Guess what? The YouTube apocalypse is on us.
Ah! They yelled.
Is that what that was?
That was yelling. It sounded like a dying whale. Okay, so a lot of you guys have been concerned about this. There's a lot of rumors going around about what YouTube is making people do, bullying people. All these different things are happening.
Yeah, lots of words. There are words.
Lots of words. But basically, anytime there's a big change like this, you will see this. I've actually been around YouTube long enough to see when they first incorporated commercials.
Yeah.
And people were reacting.
Old school.
I am that old school.
Old school.
When I was trying to get into YouTube, I was because of the commercials. But then I started doing research and hearing what people were saying, and basically they were saying the same thing what we're saying now. Oh, this is going to ruin the platform.
Right.
We didn't talk
Now
about
it's
this
all
before.
about watching
though,
ads.
so,
Everybody's
yeah.
happy about ads now. Because
So
it's
this-
how people get paid.
Yeah. Now, so we're getting into a new change. So, your thoughts, Joel?
My thoughts. Okay, so back in the day, Hulu. Remember Hulu?
Yeah.
Some
I
people
remember
still
Hulu.
have that. I remember when it was free. There wasn't a paid Hulu. See, I'm old school too.
Really? Wow.
Check that out.
I didn't know that.
It used to be free. I mean, it was always going
Well, it's
to
still
be
free.
paid.
It's still free.
There's still the free, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was all there was. Then they ratcheted the free down, put in the pay. It was to draw an audience, you know.
Yeah.
But that's how that stuff went, and it hasn't been detrimental. Now people
Right.
pay for Hulu, they get the service they like, and it's fine. YouTube's different though, right?
YouTube's different, and Hulu's a great example of why this new Red could be a problem. For instance, okay, so when people are on YouTube and they're looking for something, they might put in world travel, all right? And if they put in world travel, they might see my 100 days challenge video, and they'll see me. That's when they're on the YouTube platform. When they're on Google, it's the same thing. They might look for something. Or if they're on Bing, or if they're in a search engine, they might look for something and they might find me.
Right.
The point where they're no longer able to find me is when they move over from a search engine like YouTube or these other search engines, and they move into something like Hulu, which Hulu has its own search engine, but I'm not in that search engine.
That's its own closed ecosystem that you're not a part of. But YouTubeRed, if people start paying for YouTubeRed, say pay my $10 a month, I'm going to start watching YouTubeRed stuff, like the stuff that's exclusive to that, probably more often.
Yeah, there might be a tab that says like exclusive content.
Right.
You might click on that tab, and once you click on that tab, I will no longer be a part of the YouTube experience.
Yeah, we don't know how the interface is going to turn out, but I'm sure there's going to be something like that because they're going to want to push the pay service.
Right.
Now, I know with Amazon Prime, like I have Amazon Prime. I love Amazon Prime. When I get on there and buy something, I pretty much only buy something that's Amazon Prime. That's
Right.
Prime eligible. I'll even pay the few extra bucks just to do the Amazon Prime, even though I already pay for Amazon Prime, which is kind of weird. Why am I weird like that? But, you get it in 2 days, and you're like, I pay for this Prime service. I'm going to use it. So
Yeah.
I feel like that might happen here on the YouTubes.
Basically, it's all might. It might happen. It might not.
Yeah, it's
but
all speculation.
the problem is, as long as we're totally dedicated to the YouTube platform, we're at risk of what decisions it might come up with.
Right.
Now, is there still going to be the old YouTube? Yes. But we were hoping that, and we're still hoping that YouTube, as it reaches out to the TV audience and to other audiences, that it will bring it into the main YouTube thing. With this paid thing, it's not going to bring it into the main YouTube system. It's going to bring it into the YouTube Red thing. And so
Yeah, that's really going to be their main focus. That's going to be what they try to push the most.
So we're all at risk.
We're all
death.
kind of at risk.
The
yes.
apocalypse is upon us.
It's upon us. So
Okay.
hope you prepared yourself.
Did you
and
prepare?
You have your 3 months of food and water and piles of ammunition.
Did you join a faction?
Yeah.
What's a faction?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll join one if they have lots of ammo, food, and water, though. And video
yes.
games. Have a
Yes.
stockpile of video games.
Got
it's
that.
important for the
Okay.
apocalypse.
Okay. We're getting off a little bit here. I
Sorry.
was trying to use a word I saw in a Walking Dead thing, factions, but I don't know what it means. So here's the deal, though. We have actually already been fighting this evolution of YouTube. before YouTubeRed was announced, we realized that there is two sections of YouTube. There's the big YouTubers and there's the little YouTubers. And really, this is just more solidifying this gap between the two YouTube creators.
Right.
But this is with any type of market.
It's true.
You're going to have... Or sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm about to jump into something here.
Getting excited about it.
I'm sorry, but I'll go back
I'll
go back to the YouTuber thing.
Okay.
We, as third wave YouTubers or next generation YouTubers, have realized that we have to come together in order to promote ourselves and be seen as much as other YouTubers.
Yeah, we kind of have to replicate that first wave kind of community that happened. It's so much more difficult to do now, but that's where something like the third wave comes in. We can kind of band together, help each other out, promote each other, and kind of rise as one ship together.
So with that said, there is one problem. Most companies, when they build a company or anything like that, they build it on their own website because they have complete control over that website.
Right.
YouTubers are a phenomenon in that they build their entire business on YouTube.
Right.
And that is a dangerous thing. I actually heard of a LinkedIn website where they had a section of LinkedIn. It was like, I forget the name of it, but it was like a blogging site where people could connect and blog and do this different stuff. The way that it was set up, LinkedIn eventually just threw it out. And one of the guys that was on it had his whole business on there, and he was doing really, really well with it. And once they took that away, they took it away from him. They did something else. They didn't take it away completely, but all of his stuff just got tossed and lost.
And probably his income too.
And his income, so he had to start over with stuff.
Right.
MySpace is a good example. A lot of people were on MySpace. A lot of people saw the writing on the wall, and they moved over to YouTube, which is kind of funny. They moved over to YouTube, or they moved over to Facebook.
Right.
But these things are always going to happen. As things evolve, industries evolve, change comes. And if your entire business is built upon one thing, you're at risk of extinction always.
Yeah.
That's why we've got probes out there looking for new planets.
Right.
Because as soon as our sun blows up, we don't have any other options. We're dead. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a really bad system we got here, this one sun planet thing. It's a bad...
I don't know. Tatooine's not doing so good either. They've got two suns. Tatooine has two suns. It's a giant desert. Can't support a whole lot of life. So even two suns isn't so good. Twice the chance of explosion too. It's
twice as bad. So you gotta have light speed traveling. Okay,
right.
We're way off. So
that's not what we're actually addressing here. Light speed travel. We'll leave that to the rocket engineers and those guys.
And Star Wars.
Yeah, and Daniel's imagination. But what we want to tell you about is taking control of your own content. You know? Don't just toss those videos as soon as they get uploaded to YouTube, because that is your value and your audience. YouTube is simply the pipe that connects the two. When that pipe gets crushed or shut off, you need to be able to take those two and connect them through a different pipe.
Right.
So we want to encourage people. We're always encouraging people to build a Twitter following as well, or email.
Email is like, a lot of business people say that's essential. I would agree with that. For YouTubers, that's not necessarily something that gets worked in, but if you can figure a way of using YouTube and email together,
right?
I mean, you're ahead of the curve. You're ahead of the curve.
It's certainly possible.
Oh, I know people that do it, and it's a way for them to go viral and get seen by YouTube is by sending out these emails.
Right.
So people actually do that, and it's very, very effective.
Different people subscribe to different things, right? When we say subscribe, we're always talking YouTube and that little red button.
Right.
But not everybody uses that to actually keep track of things they want to see online or on YouTube. Some people check their email. Some people look at things on Twitter. You're telling me about somebody who has a relatively small YouTube subscriber base, but they push out.
They're
Twitter
they're a part of a community, and so that community is subscribed to them. It's what is it? The Jehovah's Witness community,
former
Jehovah's Witness community,
right.
And so once they put their video out there, the entire community shares it. So it's like you have to become a part of a community,
right.
Or you make your own community on Twitter, Facebook. Really, there's tons of platforms. Pick one and really nurture that.
Right.
But
don't
pick
don't
one,
necessarily
I guess.
don't necessarily
ones.
make it only one. Make it multiples. We try to throw our stuff out on Twitter. We don't really do the email list thing yet, but we're building that a little bit. But there's so many different ways to connect with your audience, and you want to make sure you're not cut out whenever they make a change. Whenever somebody somewhere that has no idea who you are makes a little change that completely affects your life, you don't want to be subject to that.
Right.
That's kind of the whole point, right, of this new wave of the future, new economy, and all that. So diversify with your audience.
Yeah, and just we actually talked about it a little bit in the third wave group, but putting your videos on Twitter isn't promotion. It's actually making your content available.
That's right.
And you have to think of it like that. If people are subscribed to you, make your content available to them on whatever platform they are subscribed to you on.
True. And the interesting side bonus you get from all this is YouTube actually loves it when you do that. Mm-hmm. Because YouTube measures all those things, the Facebook shares, the discussion on Facebook, like actual discussion that takes place other places than YouTube, still helps your videos. Search rankings within within YouTube. So Twitter shares, Twitter mentions, Twitter watches, Facebook shares, mentions, watches, comments. It's all part of the way YouTube ranks this stuff. So You're not only diversifying outside of YouTube, you are helping yourself within YouTube. It only benefits you to do that.
Yeah. So stay tuned on for more
I think what he's trying to say is stay tuned for more tips, helpful stuff. We want to be here to be a resource for the community and help everybody move forward together.
All right, guys. Talk to you guys later.